What would happen if literally every single member of the top of the federal government suddenly died? So a new virus rips through Washington, D.C., gets the president, gets the vice president, his whole cabinet sick, they're dying. All of Congress comes down with the virus, can't perform their duties. The Supreme Court goes down in a plane crash, everyone's gone. What happens? Is there a plan? What do we do? Okay, a more plausible scenario. Terrorists plant bombs at the site of the State of the Union address or at the inaugural address, where literally every member of Congress, the president, the Supreme Court, even sometimes the military brass, the Joint Chiefs of Staff are present there in the moment. Who takes over the government? Okay, so Section 1, Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution provides that the Vice President should take over the roles of the President should the President die. The 25th Amendment comes in and clarifies, says if the President dies, the Vice President becomes President, but that doesn't really answer our question. That same section of Article 2 states that should the President and Vice President be unable to serve or are removed, resign, whatever, the Congress then can come in and designate a line of succession for the President, which goes as follows. So in the event of the death of the President and the Vice President, the Speaker of the House of Representatives takes control. Should that person die, it falls to the Senate pro tempore to take over as President. After that, it's the 15 cabinet secretaries under the President in order of the department's founding. So first starts with the Secretary of State, John Kerry, and very last, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. During the State of the Union address, or during inaugural addresses, the president actually appoints a designated survivor that stays behind, stays distant and physically disconnected from the event in the event of some sort of catastrophe of this nature. So usually it's some random department secretary that stays behind, occasionally the Senate pro tempore. At one point, directly after the September 11th attacks in 2001, President George W. Bush gave an address to joint members of Congress. During that speech, Vice President Cheney actually served as the designated survivor. He did not attend, presumably because of the time and heightened security and general fear of another attack. So, the designated survivor stays behind, acts as president should there be some sort of a tragedy, a bomb, an attack, crazy virus, whatever it may be. So, okay, if literally everyone dies, including the designated survivor, we can only speculate as to what would happen. Perhaps any surviving members of Congress might come together, fill a quorum since pretty much everyone's dead, and designate themselves as leaders of the country. They might work with military brass, any sort of generals or lieutenants or whatever, whoever survived basically could try to hold emergency elections in coordination with state legislatures and governors. Maybe these military people would put themselves as the head of the country. I guess it's hard to speculate about a situation that's so disconnected where literally no one survives. At this point, we can only make educated guesses as to what would happen. Okay, so all of that was a bit dark to consider, I will admit, so thank you for sticking around. As a reward, here's a video of a couple kittens playing, and thank you for watching.